Hey everyone, Monday's here again. Not far now till a lot of people are on holidays. Tell me what you've been up to. Are you already on holidays maybe? Did you get to go see any shows over the weekend? I know some of the country kickback people were at Liam Brew. I think that was you, Darren. That was fantastic. I wish I could have been there because it looked like everyone was having an amazing time. Hi Sam, how are you? I'm glad that you sent your neighbours away. Or next time, just bring them in and get them to watch with you. That would be even better. So, hi Cam, how are you? Everybody that's on Facebook, make sure you give this a share and let us know you're there. Jump on and say hi. I know that it's getting close to Christmas, but this week we have two shows. So we've got tonight with JNR joining us, and then on Thursday we've got Casey Barnes joining us to talk about his new music and his last shows for the year, which he doesn't get much of a break because his last show's on New Year's Eve down here in Tassie. So tell us a little bit about what you're coming up this week. I hope they understood, Sam. I hope they did. So everybody, I don't know whether you're watching from Facebook or YouTube or the website, but everyone that's commenting, I can see them. I know that it's a bit confusing for some of you because if you're watching on Facebook, you don't see the YouTube ones or vice versa, but we'll do our best to get them on the screen for you as we go. Anyway, we might get started tonight before I lose my voice on you. And we might welcome JNR into the room. Hi, thank you for joining.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm not sure. I'm good.
So great to be here, Danny. Thank you.
Well, I don't know how you have got here because 40-degree heat over there. I don't know how you're not melted and just sitting beside the pool.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
we've been experiencing a lot of heat in Queensland and along the east coast of Australia at the moment. So it's been very warm.
I think
and a lot of people have been dealing with a lot around the fires, etc.
Yeah. How are they going? Are there any up near you guys at the moment?
Not directly around us at the moment. We're sort of out towards the back of Bay Desert in that area, but there's a lot of heat, haze, and been a lot of wind and that sort of thing around lately, and a lot of people, some real issues as far as water and water supplies. So
yeah, real worry actually. Jan has jumped in and she said hi. Jan, I am actually partway through getting your room ready today. Jan's coming to Tassie at the end of the week for some music shows and she's staying here, so I've been mad cleaning her room, making sure it's all ready. Sam has popped in from YouTube. Actually, I think Sam might be watching from our webpage, which is the first time we've had a live show on the webpage tonight. So he's popped in to say hi as well. So apart from this, dealing with this heat and things, hi Beck, you've made it. How you going? Let's talk about music. Let's talk about why you got into music to start with. Tell us a little bit.
Sure. So a little bit about my background. I mean, my family's been involved with music for a long time. We had a family band that played music together. I've got a brother in Nashville for about 15 years. My sister plays bass as well. So we had a bit of a musical family. We did a lot of the stuff around the country music circuits and that sort of thing back in the day. So that's where it sort of all started. But where I really grew up with music was around growing up in rural environments, sort of on a working holiday for about the first 6 years of my life. So like listening back and hearing a lot of early country and Americana music back before I could even learn to speak, so it goes back a long way.
It was just going to happen, wasn't it? There was no getting out of it.
Just a matter of time. I thought, yeah, well, the thing was as well, it's like, I spent a lot of time working and I thought it was probably a bit of a adolescent dream, but the thing was like it never really entirely left my system altogether. There's a real passion there for music and the ability to be able to reach people and connecting with people wherever they are and what they're dealing with. I know for me, there was a huge amount of relatability with being able to hear music, and for me, particularly for people that are in remote and isolated, so it's I just love music and the ability to be able to move, touch, and inspire people.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you find when you play your music in different places that you get different reactions to the same song, the same things that you're doing? Is it different everywhere you go?
It's different. It's different everywhere I go, and depending on the people and the mood and location and the venue and that sort of thing. And done a lot of different gigs in different locations and cafes and bars and that sort of thing as well, and rodeo. So it's it's been really interesting. Different reactions from different people. Kids are amazing. Kids are great as well. They're really completely uninhibited, and they just don't really have any considerations and worry about what they, so it's a lot of fun.
That's the great part, isn't it? I wish we could all be like that still. We all start to think what other people are thinking. So tell us a little bit about you. You released a new single, Down Low, on the 17th of November. How did that go for you?
Yeah, well, that was great. It was like there was a lot of work that went into that, and that's my debut single. Even though I've been doing music for the last couple of years, that all for Down Low, and we put a lot of work into it. It was recorded. There's an Australian producer called Michael Flanders in Nashville that he's been there about 12 years. I'm due to catch up with him this week. Actually, we're going to do some more work in studio in Brisbane on another track. So that's my single and video that was released. Yeah. So we put a lot of work into that. We shot a video for that. I'm shooting the video. I wrote the song with Jared, who won Tamworth Star Maker in 24. He's a lovely guy, got an amazing, beautiful family, and also Nolan Wynn. And the three of us, we wrote a few songs, but that was like the first one. I said to him, I think this is going to be like the deal. We want to write something that was interesting and a bit more uptone and not too cliched. And that's the high on life on the down low. So we went in to write it around that theme, and the whole song got structured around that. So so we like getting the word out about that song. And there's a couple of references to Miss Bell. Miss Bell's a bit of a tip to a song called Good Directions that was released by Billy Currington and by Luke Bryan. So there's a reference there to Miss Bell. So we expanded upon that, and Miss Bell still selling her homemade pies is one of the lyrics in the song. So yeah, it's just about like getting out of town, and I think that's the thing. There's a lot of country fans that are in the city as well. It's about getting out of town and getting away from out of mobile phone coverage areas, and just getting away from technology a little bit for a while and just having some fun.
Absolutely, and it does. And the film clip for that is fantastic. Actually, I really enjoy that. Did you carry that song idea around for a while before you wrote?
I had the idea, and I didn't really know whether it had any relatability. Whether it's more of an Americanism or whether Australians sort of get on the down low, what that actually means. But I sort of had that line, high on the life on the down low, and then we wrote it pretty much in about I think it was about 2 sittings, two 4-hour sessions. We wrote that song and then just rewrote it again, and then we sent it over to Music Row in Nashville. They do some coaching on songwriting, and they go, what's this and what's that, and this doesn't make any sense. And we rewrote it about 3 or 4 times to get a bit of form to it, and to try and create some relatability. So, and we also wanted to hopefully appeal to Australians as well as the American market as well. So we're really doing that. So that's really that's where the bulk of the market is.
Yes, absolutely. Now, for those that haven't heard it and already got it, where can they find the song? Where can they look you up?
You can find it. It's on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify. I can send you the link for the downloads. It's and YouTube. The video clip for the song is on YouTube as well. So if you just do a search for JNR download, you'll find the clip on YouTube. 25 and towards 30,000 views on the clip so far.
Actually, for those that haven't seen it, just before we went live, I popped that film clip onto the Country Kickback, the throwback list of artists that have been on Country Kickback. So if you guys go onto our YouTube channel and you want to see the video and you can't find it in a search, jump onto the Country Kickback page and you'll be able to look it up there. So, so have a look on that, guys, if you haven't already seen it. You said that you're doing some work later in the week. Have you got some songs that are coming out soon from that?
Yeah, we've been writing. We've been writing and heading towards. I know probably the people are arguing maybe the days of albums have passed, but I just love album concepts, and we're going to be writing towards an album for release for next year. So we'll be going in the studio later this week. Mike Flanders is over from Nashville back to Brisbane for a month, and we're going to head to Tamworth as well and hang out there and get to catch up and meet up with people and connect down there. So we'll be going in the studio to do some recording and then hopefully have the next track that's available for release somewhere between the middle and the end of February 2020, which is not very far away now.
No, it's not. It's not very far away at all.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself there.
It's just incredible. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it takes about, like, we've got as far as like the project side of it is concerned, about 16 weeks from planning. That's once the song's completed. But yeah, just the process for writing and then rewriting and then recording. So I know with our mixing and mastering, it went backwards and forwards from Australia to Nashville times. And there were some exciting things. Michael Flanders is in Nashville, and part of the recording that he used for recording Down Low, he used the microphone, the very same microphone that Faith Hill used to record Breathe with. So I thought that was a bit of nostalgia as well, as far as yeah.
So you were saying it took you 16 weeks, that process.
That was interesting. But yeah, we're heading back.
Sorry, you go.
You go.
For those that don't know the process, explain it to us. So from start to finish, you can take quite some time to write the song, and then you send it off, and it bounces backwards and forwards for a while. How does this 16-week process explain to people how that steps out?
Yeah, so like we sat down and we wrote the song, even though we wrote it initially across 2 4-hour writing sessions. We sent it backwards and forwards to Music Row and had it critiqued and got some feedback from some of the writers there in Nashville. Then we did a few rewrites on it. So it was, that song in total was about 6 months in development. And that's just in the writing side of things. And then we got to the production side of things, where we would it, and then we would we'd get most of it done, and then we'd have a listen and go away and come back to find out maybe what was missing. So we threw bits and pieces of some pedal steel in. I had a good friend of mine, Angela Tui, did some backing vocals on it, and then we sent back to Nashville additional vocals as well. So the amazing, it's got really fat vocal sound in it. So that work as well. Then we got to the level of mixing, and then it got mixed in Australia by Addison Joy in Brisbane, and then it got sent backwards and forwards between Brisbane and Nashville. So that bit of time, and just to get the mix right. Sometimes if you listen to a song over and over, there's a lot of things you can't hear after a while. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, really happy about the way that it turned out. Yeah, I just wanted to we're sort of digging for a sound that people sort of said to me, "Oh, you sound like James Blundell, or you sound like Buffalo Springfield or whatever." And it's like, it's really interesting because people want a sound to something, you know, but we're really digging around trying to find sounds that are maybe don't necessarily sound like anyone else in particular, you know. Yeah.
No, you want your own sound. You want to be you.
It's an exciting process. Yeah, that's it. So the 16-week cycle is like working with Clinton from Yes We PR. She's been amazing in working with us on the publicity and the promotion side of things. So like once the song's been written and then recorded, then we're like working on a 16-week cycle to, well, it's been longer now, maybe 20 weeks or something, to get it out and about and get it to radio and to get some PR and press. And we had the Outpost Bar in Brisbane, and Megan Cooper and Cameron Milford and Jared Porter come along and played some songs for support, and we live streamed out. So the thing at the moment is the big challenge, and thank you to people like yourself and Country Kickback, Danny, for getting the word out about our song, and so that we can get the music out to people, you know, because it's like people have like, there's so much, particularly with the big labels, you know, they've got huge budgets to try and run advertising and that sort of thing. So thank you to people like yourself, to independent artists like myself, to get there.
That's what we want to do. So thank you for trusting us to do it. It's a gamble, really. No, I think the song's great, and I think it will do really well. And I think the other thing I sort of wanted to know, being, you know, your first official release and everything, how did you go, the nerves building up to that release day, or did you just take it as it came?
Yeah, well, it was the thing is, for me, it's been a long train coming as well. So it's like in a lot of ways it's like it's anticlimactic, but in other ways it's like it's just the beginning as well, you know. So it's funny because my brothers and sisters and we used to go watch Keith Urban play in Brisbane when he was in Brisbane, down at places like the Normanby Hotel and Broadway Hotel, and there would be like 6 of us turn up, and we go like, wow, this is great. How come like more people, this is like I
remember that.
social media, right? So it's like, how come more people don't know about that? And then,
I know, yeah.
You know, Keith was like in Nashville for like, I don't know, 15 years before he even like got picked up and started to break through as well. So, yeah, in many ways, it's like, it's the start. You know, it's the end of that process, but it's just the beginning. So trying to get the word out and reach as many people with the material as possible, and then just to keep following through with new releases as well, and getting exposure out and building a base of followers and people that know the songs and the sound, and so just building on that. So it's it's interesting, and you know, a lot of the times it's about generating contacts and industry contacts and getting people to know you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time and it's hard work, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's really worth it. Sam has just popped on from YouTube, and he said that he's here because of Country Kickback. He wants to learn new music, and he said he's going to check out your songs tonight. So that's fantastic. That's what we want. That's our aim, is to get you, or even old artists that have been around for a long time. I want to get the music out to show you guys. So that's fantastic. So where can they see you if they want to come and see you live? Have you got any shows coming up?
I haven't got any. Well, we're getting down to do some spots down in Tamworth mid-January, in the week leading up to Australia Day weekend. We'll be getting around with and doing some spots here and there, and we're primarily focused on like even the next couple of weeks, recording for the next release to go out in February, building up some tracks and repertoire originals. So when I'm playing, it's like I've done, like, grew up with a lot of Americana country and played a lot of stuff that was like Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and those guys, and then like growing out of that and then creating a solid base and sets of originals. So we're working on writing towards that at the moment for more material, and to try and get those out like every couple of months, probably every 2 months or something coming into next year. So we'll be out and about and seeking some gigs and some spots at some of the upcoming festivals in 2020. So stay tuned to our Facebook page for JNR for updates on and our Instagram account for JNR Official Music for updates.
I think that's great. And when you've got a new single, if you're interested, we might have you back on the show to tell everybody again that your new music is coming out and pre-order for you and get ready for it. Because if it's anything like the first, it's going to be fantastic. So
that'd be great.
No rest for you over Christmas at all, by the sounds of things.
No.
None at all. So tell us a little bit. You perform and do a little bit, like quite a lot on Johnny Cash and all those different artists. Do you have a favorite artist that inspires you?
Yeah. As far as Americana artists are concerned,
anything at all, whatever you like to.
Yeah.
Where do you
as far as the amazing thing is I've got a brother that lives in Nashville, and he's a musician as well, plays bass for Chris Young. And the thing is that's great about being able to go into Nashville is I've got to attend some of the Billboard conferences. So fortunately, I've been able to meet people like Luke Bryan and Willie Nelson. I met Dwight Yoakam and like some of those people that are amazing that you've just sort of seen on television or heard, that you get to see them in flesh and blood, which is really quite amazing. So that side of things, as far as those artists, I'm always sort of drawn and admired some of the outlaw country artists because of who they are. And I was sharing with my brother the other day, actually, I remember seeing this photo of Waylon Jennings meeting the Queen with like a cigarette in his mouth, and it was really quite amusing. But there's some other really amazing artists as well that I love to get to see when they're touring and when they're playing in Tamworth, including people like William Crichton. I don't know whether you've know any of William Crichton's music, but I try to see him every time that he's in Queensland on tour, or if he's in Tamworth. I've been to some of his shows, and I remember the first time I was listening to the radio and I heard he's got a song called 2000 Clicks, which is very, very a lot of Australianism. And he's got an amazing voice, and he's got a very intense presence live on stage as well. He's got a huge beard and it's very manly. But he's amazing. So some of those guys that I love to check out, and a lot of the other artists, of course, with people like Troy Cassadaly and that sort of thing. I've learned a couple of Troy's songs that I love, including Lonesome But Free, and some of those songs that are really, really quite amazing and brilliant, Yeah,
well written. Fantastic. I don't know if you can see on your screen, but I've just popped up a comment from Scott. He said it's an interesting name, JNR. How did you decide on that?
Yeah, that's everything sort of seems to be getting shortened these days, but JNR is a reference for Junior, and my father's name's Paul also, and it created a lot of confusion with songwriting and APRA and AMCOS, with trying to work out whose songs were whose, and so I moved towards creating the brand for JNR, and I think it's a little bit more simpler. And hopefully once we start doing some more work on branding and getting some of the music out there, that it might be a little bit, people will remember and be able to retain the name. So that's, JNR is an acronym for Junior, because it's a really interesting concept as well, because it's a very patriarchal term, Junior. You don't see, there's no female versions of Danny Junior. You know what I mean? Women don't do that, but men have a habit of sort of naming their children after their boys after them personally. And so it was a practical thing, and then it was like, what am I going to do with I want to get my music out, and it's going to create a lot of confusion with my dad having a similar name as well. So it was born out of necessity, but hopefully it sticks and works. So that's a great question as well. So thank you.
It's a great question. Thank you, Scott. I think it's great. I think you've done a great job, and it will be easy to get it out there. It's something that people remember, so it's good.
Yeah.
So Tamworth is your next lot of shows coming up. Can they find all of those have you got on your website and that sort of thing if they're not on Facebook?
We'll be doing some work on the website stuff at the moment, but it'll be on it's on the JNR Facebook page. It'll be on our Instagram account for where we're playing. We'll be doing our updated website next year, early next year, for when the next song gets released.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we're just been working on our social media, building our profile on some of the other digital marketing platforms like Spotify and that sort of thing as well.
Yep.
So yeah, building that slowly.
Perfect.
So yeah,
it's so much work, isn't it?
It is. It's incredible how much work's involved.
It doesn't stop. It's incredible.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask is, with family in Nashville, is that on the cards one day, living over there?
Well, anything's possible, but I always try and get over to Nashville at least every 2 years. So I think I've been over there about six times in the last 12 months. I was over there October last year. And the amazing thing about being in Nashville is there's a lot of music happens in Nashville, and a lot of writing that happens. Someone told me there's about 10,000 songs get written a day in Nashville. So, yeah, it's pretty incredible. And anything's possible. Ideally, be able to spend time transiting backwards and forwards between Australia and Nashville. So
yeah.
Spending 6 months here, 6 months there, sort of thing. That'd be great.
Go for summer there and come back for our summer. So you
yeah.
Cold. Yeah. You might, after today, you probably want the cold. So.
Well, my brother's, like I said, my brother flies back to Nashville this Friday. He's flying back, and he's got a little camera on his door, and he showed me that it's been snowing.
Wow.
So he's going from
worse than here.
From 40-degree heat back to snow again. So
yuck. Oh no, I'd be staying here.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be wanting to go to that for Christmas. Yuck. Much prefer being able to swim on Christmas Day than or work, whatever it is that I do. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We will try and catch up with you in Nashville. Oh, in Nashville, I wish. In Tamworth.
Mm-hmm.
One day, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Anything's possible.
Maybe, yes. I might have to message you and go, I don't know where I am. I'm lost. Tell me how to get out of here. It's very likely that will happen before I leave the airport. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
You also. Thank you so much, Danny.
And let us know when you get these new singles, and we will pop them on our website for everyone to have a look at. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Another night that you guys have put up with me blabbering on. So thank you. Don't forget, guys, at the top of the Facebook page, pinned to the top, we've got another competition with some Adam Brand tickets to give away. So we'll be drawing that early January. So jump on and enter that competition. There's a few more competitions coming up after that. So keep entering. You never know your luck. And we'll see all you guys at 7:45 on Thursday to chat with Casey Barnes. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thanks, Danny. My pleasure.
Okay, we'll see you guys all later.
Thanks, guys. Much love.